Oh, well, today I'm making my NFL power rankings. I thought it was a good time to do it. I haven't done one power rankings video. This is after week 10 going into week 11. I'll get into it. 32nd, in my opinion, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They suffered yet another loss on week 10 versus Indianapolis Colts on Thursday night. They lost 27-10. Looked pretty pathetic, and in my opinion, they are at the bottom and the cellar of the NFL. 31st, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. They look pretty good. Not pretty good, but they played better versus the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night. They really should have won that game. Matt Castle's into the interception in OT, but the Steelers held up for the W. I think they're improving just a little bit. 30th seems like the team that's going to get worse and worse and worse, and you never know, might finish to be 32nd in the power rankings is the New York Jets. The Jets have a terrible quarterback situation. Mark Sanchez, in my opinion, isn't even as good as a backup for a lot of teams. At best, he's a backup, and I think there needs to be immediate quarterback change there, whether it's Tim Tebow or somebody else over there for New York. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's just starting to get pretty sad to watch them play, and to be honest with you, it's pretty pathetic to watch a Jets game anymore. So, 30th, the Jets. 29th, the team who seems to be improving, is the Cleveland Browns. 28th is the Carolina Panthers, who suffered a loss versus the Denver Broncos on week 10. They got pretty much dominate the whole entire game, but they'll have better next year. And Carolina fans, look forward to the next year because it's only going to get better. 27th is the Arizona Cardinals, who, in my opinion, are also, not doing any better really. Their defense can't hold up too much longer for this offense that is pretty much in mute right now. So 27th the Cardinals. 26th is the Oakland Raiders, who got destroyed by the Baltimore Ravens on week 10, but not a terrible team, 3-6, and they'll be better in the next 2 or 3 years. So they'll improve. 25th is the Philadelphia Eagles with the terrible Michael Vick, and he has a concussion, so Nick Foles is likely to start in Week 11 versus the Redskins. But it's just it's another terrible situation for the Eagles, and their season is over, 3-6 already. They're done. 24th is the Bills, who also really should have beaten a good team. They should have beat the New England Patriots. Down 37-31. They go down the field, and Ryan Fitzpatrick throws an interception in the end zone. It was a pathetic throw. Terrible throw by him, but he played pretty well throughout the game, so I got to give him props for that. So that's why I have him at 24th. 23rd is the Tennessee Titans, who pretty much manhandled the Miami Dolphins last weekend. They won 37-3, really dominated that whole game. I was really impressed by what the Titans did. So. Not too bad of a team, 23rd. 22nd is the San Diego Chargers, who lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know what to say about the Chargers. They have way too much talent to be 4-5 right now. I expected them to go 9-7, 10-6, and finish second right behind the Broncos and get a playoff spot, but it's not looking too good for them now, is it? Nope. And 21st, I have the Dallas Cowboys, who had a big win versus the Eagles on Sunday. They played pretty well, and they never gave up in that game. When Foles came in and he threw a touchdown, they responded right away. So, they're still in it for a playoff spot. 20th is the Miami Dolphins, and the Dolphins I had up over 16th, and until last week when, pretty much they just got destroyed, as I said. They lost 37-3. They do play tonight at Buffalo, and we'll have to see what that game goes there. But, yeah. 19th is the Detroit Lions, who, it's not a very good year to start with, and it's going to be tough to get into the playoffs. They face the Green Bay Packers this coming Sunday. I have them at 19th. 18th is the St. Louis Rams, and the Rams, they played pretty good. They really should have won that game also if, the delay of game penalty in OT with Greg Zuerlein, made the first one. You move him back 5 yards to set up to, I think it was a 54-yarder. You're asking too much for him to kick two field goals in a row, 49 or 54 yards. So, stupid penalty there. You don't see that a lot from Jeff Fisher. You rarely see that. So I was really surprised about that delay of game, even when you had a timeout to spare. So they did tie versus the San Francisco 49ers, but I was still impressed that they did tie, especially in San Francisco. So, pretty good game versus for the Rams. 17th is the Washington Redskins. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're a decent team, but they sit at 3-6 right now. And Robert Griffin has been really good his first couple of games. Really struggled the past few games. So we'll see what they do this Sunday versus the Eagles. 16th is the Cincinnati Bengals, who also seem to be improving after that tough start. They dominated the Giants, and that was a great game for them. So I was impressed of their performance in Week 10. 15th is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they come off a win versus the San Diego Chargers. Played really well. I think the Buccaneers, as I said, will get into a playoff spot. They sit at 5-4 right now. 14th is the New Orleans Saints. They beat the undefeated Atlanta Falcons and ended their undefeated streak as they moved them to 8-1. They played really well. I was really impressed how Drew Brees was in the defense for the Saints played. So good game for the Saints, and they're right back in it. Well, sort of back in it. 13th is the Minnesota Vikings, and Christian Ponder really kind of silenced the critics last week, and he had a good game versus the Jets. Not the Jets, excuse me. Who did Minnesota play? I'm not sure who Minnesota played right now, but he had a really good game, and they played the Lions. They played, and Christian Ponder did pretty good. He got the ball out to his receivers, and he let them do the work, and their defense was able to hold up. So the Vikings, pretty good team. 12th is the Seattle Seahawks, who are just great at home, as they dominated the New York Jets, and Mark Sanchez looked even worse and worse as it goes on. Another game under 50% completion percentage. I don't know what to say about Mark Sanchez. He's the worst quarterback in the league, in my opinion. 11th is the New York Giants. So I don't know what is going on with the Giants right now. Eli's really struggling. They're saying stuff about arm strength. I don't know if that's the case, but I think they'll make a playoff. I think they'll get into the playoff spot, and they could make a run because of the New York Giants. 10th is the Indianapolis Colts, who had a great year. They are 6-3. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 10, 27-10. They look pretty good, and I think they get into a wild card spot. And I like the Colts. They're my favorite team, of course, and they're a really good team. Colts at 10th. 9th is the Baltimore Ravens, who they've played well since that game versus the Houston Texans. They dominated the Raiders 55-21, I believe it was, or 55-20, something like that, and so they showed they can win without Ray Lewis. 8th is the New England Patriots, who really shouldn't even won that game versus the Buffalo Bills, and some turnovers by Fred Jackson, and some dropped interceptions, and that interception by Ryan Fitzpatrick. So not all good for the Patriots. They're not as dominant as they've been in the past years. That's why they have them at 8th. Still a good team. 7th is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who barely beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football in that rainy, cold weather. But I see the Patriots stuff making the Steelers stuff making the playoffs this year, and I think they'll be a dominant force throughout the rest of the season. 6th, I have the Chicago Bears, who I moved them back. I had them at 2 last week, and they just they didn't play well versus the Texans. I know they're a really good team, but I expected more of them. But then again, they did lose Jay Cutler from that concussion. They had to put in Jason Campbell, so still a pretty good team, and they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl for us. 5th, I had the Denver Broncos, who seem to be getting better every week. I started out 2-3. They've won 4 straight, and I think they win out and they go 13-3, and maybe get a bye in the first round, because I think they're a really good team. And the Denver Broncos, I think that they are. I think that they were my preseason Super Bowl picks. So I like the way they're playing. Peyton Manning is playing absolutely great, MVP caliber definitely, and he has some good receivers: Eric Decker, Demaryius Thomas, Brandon Stokely, Jacob Tamme, Joel Dreesen. You have a lot of good guys around there in Denver, and their defense is starting to really step up as well. So good team over the Broncos. I have them at 5th. 4th is the San Francisco 49ers, who, they really should have beaten the Rams, but they didn't. Still a good team, though. And, Colin Kaepernick, they had to bring him in because of the concussion also to Alex Smith, excuse me. 3rd, I have the Green Bay Packers, and they are just dominating right now. And I think the Green Bay Packers also will go to the Super Bowl. I think it'll be the Broncos versus the Packers, and that was my preseason pick. I think that they're just Aaron Rodgers is just so good, and they're so scary good in that playoffs. I mean, you're gonna face them, and you've got to be really scared as well. So the Denver Broncos and the Texans and teams like that. And here's a team that's Atlanta Falcons that, in my opinion, you got I don't think you're has intimidated by them as you are by a team like the Broncos, the Packers, or the Steelers or the Patriots, because they haven't won a playoff game in such a long time, and Matt Ryan hasn't won a playoff game, so it's their game to win, and I have them at second though, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see if they win a playoff game. I think they're still underrated. I mean, I still think they're not going to get all the credit that how well they've been playing over the season, because they haven't won a playoff game. So until they win a couple playoff games, I don't think that they get enough credit to be known as the best team in football. First is the Houston Texans, who are just an absolute dominant team, and I think that they also have a shot at, of course they have a shot at the Super Bowl, and they are just I don't know how you could say it everywhere. Great defense, Brian Cushing, J.J. Watt, some good corners, on offense you have Arian Foster, and then you got Matt Schaub, and then your receivers you got Andre Johnson, you just have so many, Owen Daniels, you have so many targets there on both the offense and the defense, and great team over there in Houston. They are really a really good team. So those are my power rankings. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like rating and share it with your friends on Facebook and things like that, and Twitter. And have a nice evening.